Hi guys, the name is Mark and just going to do another little video here and this will probably be the last time I talk about things because there are a couple of things that are missing in my other videos. Not that you might not know it, but I do, so I'm going to help throw a little more mud at it, but usually I try to keep things real simple. And this is about Trump having immunity, okay? What Trump actually did was Trump wrote down on a piece of paper that he is not a citizen of the United States of America and that the laws of the United States of America do not apply to him because he is a real living man. He is not a creature of identification, identity, entity, right? So he had it notarized that he is not a citizen of the US, but he also had it notarized that he's allowed to carry around his citizenship and use that to, say, fly and travel and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the laws, how they apply to the name Donald Trump in all capital letters, but at the end of the day, he is lawless, less of the law because he's not a citizen of the United States of America. He said that he had a citizen, which is the all caps name Donald Trump. Okay, people? So basically, he's using his name, Donald Trump, to create the fraud and to get away with that in the public sector, but in the private sector and even in the public, he's simply not a citizen. And I'm going to unveil the fraud even more because you read things in the Constitution and stuff like this and in their laws, and it'll say stuff like, while in office, no person shall, okay? So shall means will. So you will not, right? Or you will, right? That's what shall means. In a way, it's a subjective term, so you have to be real careful with that, right? I even had that discussion with a judge one day, but anyhow, that's another talk show. So basically, no person in office will not say steal or will not take emoluments or stuff like this, right? So simply put, this is what's going on. Trump is using the name, but he had it notarized that he is not the name, and he is utilizing the name to deal in the public and over the, with the world and fly here and fly there, and he pretends like he's a citizen. But simply put, people, at the end of the day, he's not. And even though their laws say no person in office shall do this or shall do that, effectively what it comes down to is he's simply not a person, and he had it notarized that he is not a person. He had it notarized that he carries around a person, which is the identity, the entity, that he carries around another entity with him, and that entity is not him. And that's why he would plead the fifth, because he does not have to be a witness in proceedings against himself. You follow me? So why would he be a witness in proceedings against a false name of all capital letters called Donald Trump and say, yeah, that guy did this, that guy did that? He knows that is just a name, and he will not be a witness in proceedings against himself, right? So he will not be a witness in proceedings against the all capital name. And if you look at lawsuits and anything that the government ever has to do when they issue tickets and stuff, you'll always find your name is in all capital letters, right? And that refers to the person, right? You simply could not be a person, but then people think they are the person, and they've applied to be the person, and only persons were supposed to work for the government, okay? So people who had applied to get a job for the government and got a job for the government would become a person, right? But see, the Constitution was written by we, the people, who were not persons. They did not carry around a persona and identity and entity, another entity around with them, right? You were never supposed to carry around another entity with you. And, again, Trump just simply had it revoked that, listen, I am not that person. I am not that all capital letter name. How could I? I'm a man in the flesh, and that's that. Had it notarized, had it authenticated through, probably Hillary Clinton's office, for God's sakes, when she was in the Justice Department. And that was that, right? When she was the Attorney General or whatever she was. So simply put, people, That's it. That's all. That's a very key thing that I thought I should share with you. And that's where all the fraud starts, is because he's claiming that he's like Donald Trump. Well, he knows he's not a name and a piece of paper. And that's why all these lawsuits flying at him, and even the Supreme Court judges and all these senators, even that Jamie Raskin, he's saying the Constitution is great and the Constitution is this. And he'll smile while saying, and people say, well, this guy's a genius and stuff. But that genius, it's not what they're telling you, it's what they're not telling you. And he's never told you that the Constitution applies to citizens only and not the people who are not citizens, and especially to people who carry around, they say, listen, I have a citizenship, but I am not a citizen on the ship, right? And then that's where it gets notarized and authenticated, and that becomes the law. And if you want to people make a law, like say I want to make a law, like please don't be trespassing on my lawn, well, I would simply draw up a notice, throw it out in the Gazette paper or a newspaper, throw it in the Montreal Gazette, say, hear ye, please don't be stepping on my lawn, and otherwise if you step on my lawn, well, now you owe me $1 million. And once I have it notarized and I've given everybody fair warning, it becomes a law because it was notarized. And again, notarizations were only supposed to be meant for lawful over-the-table stuff, not this, under-the-table slidey, shady shit, right? So once again, people, Trump is not a citizen. He carries around a citizen named Donald Trump, and that entity does all his dirty business for him, and he pretends that he is Donald Trump when that's the lie. He knows he's not Donald Trump. That's the name that's being used to portray and purvey and the fraud and the stealing, and keep him from being prosecuted from molesting these little girls at pageants and stuff. And look at some of these children's faces at these pageants and stuff, and what the hell is wrong with the parents, and why were the parents letting their children around these scumbags? I'll tell you why. Because they were enamored and inebriated with rich bullshit too, right? So anyhow, people, I know this may sound complicated, but that's why Trump has immunity, and that's why the Supreme Courts aren't doing a goddamn thing about it, because they know he has immunity. And when he tells you people he has immunity, and you people are all going, he doesn't have immunity, he's a friggin' idiot, and these people tell you flat out, man, I could shoot somebody on the corner of 5th and Madison, is what he said, and that's how it goes, people. And you people literally go, oh, he's awesome, and no, I'm sorry, people. If that's your definition of awesome, I don't know. You really have your priorities and your whatever. Your thoughts are just like seriously gone awry here. So anyhow, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope this video finds you well. Please stay genuine to each other. If ICE workers start going places, you people want to go places, here's another solution, go places in fair enough size crowds, and furthermore have other people that are willing to jump around. So if 20 ICE workers go to lay their hands on a mother, well, 100 people, 500 more surround them and say, no, I'm sorry, but excuse me, you might want to go home. You follow me, people? Okay. This is how simple things have to be done. No harm's got to be done to these monkeys. I know I say this all the time, and no harm has to come to them. You just surround them with force like they do, but you don't enforce force on them, and that's that. So anyhow, people, it's like Trump. Go arrest them. Everybody on the news and all these places. Oh, you got to wait for the next election. You got to wait for this. Everything is always outside of yourself in the political world. So get out of the political world and simply start acting like we the people. Stop paying your taxes to fraudulent, dictators and stuff, and stop supporting these banks and stop paying your mortgages. And you know what? Screw these people and let's all start enjoying life. I don't even drink, but hey, man, go drink some beer and sit down by the water and float on the drink, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? We have better things to do, okay? So I'm going to leave it at that. Stay true, genuine to each other, compassionate and kind and caring, and please support one another and back each other up, and stop running around while they're idiots. And no. You want to bring these people over, show them love. Trust me, people, if you want to chase butterflies, the butterflies will fly away all the time, right? You add a little honey and you stay where you are, and the butterflies will come to you, man. I can't make this shit up, people. Being present is more important than all this talk, right? Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words, right? Come out of Babylon, my people, unless you want to partake in our sins, right? Silence is golden. Silver is speech, man. That's why they call it spelling. Spell in, right? Get out of the spell, people. You're in a spell believing that this guy, he's the president, and it says no person shall in office. Well, he's not a person in office. He's a living man in office who said he was not a citizen, although he had a citizen, so he could use that in the public. But otherwise you can't touch him, man. Can't touch this. You follow me, people? So anyhow, I love you all. I truly do. Even Trump, I find peace, and I find I hope peace and love and all that finds even like these most ignorant people out there. I truly do, and that's why we can't bring harm to them, is because they're the ether's creations, and to do that would be in violation of God's laws, right? I don't like the word God, so I don't know, we'll call it the universal waitress. Okay. Anyhow, love out to you all. Please stay safe and look after each other, okay? That's all I can say. I come to you people from the heart. I don't put out these videos because I have to. Trust me, people, I have better things to do, but I truly care about you people, and that's why I share what I share. That's all I can say. I come to you, I pour my heart out to you people. It's about all I can say. I don't want your money. I don't want subscribers. I don't want followers. I want none of that bullshit, right? I want everybody to realize the grace of God. And you are the grace. Anyhow, people, I can't emphasize this enough. I love you all. Peace and love out. And well, till then, keep your heads up and your sticks on the ice. Bye.